Ambassador Taemin Park adjusted his formal uniform and walked toward the docking bay. Today was important. The Velothi were coming to meet humans for the first time. His team waited beside him, xenobiologist So-Young Kim with her data tablets, and military liaison Jin-Woo Lee in his crisp blue uniform. The massive alien ship connected to the human embassy station with a soft thud. Taemin watched the airlock cycle through its safety checks. When the doors opened, 3 tall, graceful beings stepped through. They looked like walking crystals with 4 arms and gentle, glowing eyes. "Welcome to Neptune Station," Taemin said with a slight bow. "I am Ambassador Park. We are honored to meet the Velothi people." The lead alien stepped forward. Its voice came through a translation device around its neck. "I am Cathala, speaker for the Velothi Council. We bring greetings from the Peaceful Worlds Alliance." So-Young stepped forward with excitement in her eyes. "We have studied your peaceful expansion across 17 star systems. Your terraforming work is amazing." Cathala's crystal body shimmered with what seemed like pleasure. "We are proud of our work. We have cataloged over 300 Deathworlds and helped many species escape them. But we are most excited to visit Earth. Such a beautiful garden world." Jin-Woo raised an eyebrow. "Garden world?" "Yes," another Velothi said through its translator. "Your planet shows perfect conditions. Stable temperature, gentle weather, safe plant life, no dangerous predators." The Galactic Council rated it as one of the safest worlds they have ever studied. Taemin and his team exchanged confused looks. Cultural attaché Hyejin Nam joined them from the side corridor, carrying refreshment trays. "I brought some Earth foods for our guests," Hyejin said cheerfully. "Coffee, chocolate, and some spicy kimchi." The Velothi backed away from the tray like it was on fire. Cathala's translator crackled with alarm. "Those items register as toxic compounds. Please remove them immediately." Hyejin blinked in surprise. "Toxic? But these are normal human foods. Children eat chocolate every day." "Impossible," the third Velothi said. "Chocolate contains methylxanthines. These chemicals would kill most galactic species in small amounts." "You cannot possibly consume such poison," So-Young laughed. "Well, some humans do avoid chocolate if they're allergic. And coffee can make you jittery if you drink too much." "But toxic? That seems extreme." The Velothi moved even further away. Cathala's voice rose in pitch. "You speak of allergic reactions and jittery effects as minor inconveniences. These are signs of severe poisoning." Jin-Woo tried to ease the tension. "Maybe we should start with basic information about our species. Humans have adapted to Earth over millions of years. We can handle foods that might be dangerous to other species." "Adapted?" Cathala asked. "What dangers did you adapt to?" "Garden worlds have no significant environmental pressures." Hyejin set down the tray carefully. "Well, we had to survive ice ages, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, floods, droughts, hurricanes, and various predators." The 3 Velothi began speaking rapidly to each other in their own language. Their crystal bodies flashed with different colors. The translator stayed silent during their private conversation. Taemin waited patiently. First contact situations often had communication problems. Different species saw things differently. Cathala finally turned back to the humans. "Please forgive us. Your translation devices must have errors. You could not have survived ice ages on a garden world. Ice ages are extinction events that happen only on death worlds. Our ice ages weren't that bad," So-Young said. "The last one ended about 10,000 years ago. Humans survived by using tools, making fires, and working together." "Making fires?" the second Velothi whispered. "They control combustion?" "Sure," Jin-Woo said. "Every human child learns fire safety. We use controlled fire for cooking, heating, and manufacturing." The Velothi moved closer together as if seeking protection. Their translators buzzed with worried sounds. Hyejin tried to help. "Maybe we should show them our Earth documentation? We have beautiful videos of human cities, natural parks, and families enjoying outdoor activities." "Yes," Cathala said weakly. "Perhaps visual evidence will clarify these translation errors." So-Young activated a wall screen and began showing images of Earth. Beautiful cities with millions of humans walking freely under the open sky. Children playing in parks surrounded by large trees. Families swimming in oceans. "This footage shows typical daily life on Earth," So-Young explained. "Humans spend lots of time outdoors. We enjoy hiking, swimming, camping, and sports. Those humans are exposed to unfiltered stellar radiation," the third Velothi said in horror. Where are their protective suits? Protective suits? Taman asked. For sunlight? We just use sunscreen lotion if we plan to stay outside for many hours. You have chemical protection against stellar radiation? Well, yes. And our skin produces melanin naturally. It helps protect us from UV rays. The Valathi were now huddled together at the far end of the room. Kethala's voice shook as it spoke. You evolved natural protection against stellar radiation? Hijin nodded. Humans come in many different colors. People whose ancestors lived near the equator usually have darker skin with more melanin protection. People from northern areas tend to be lighter, which helps them absorb vitamin D from weaker sunlight. Vitamin D? Kethala asked faintly. A nutrient we make when sunlight touches our skin, Jinwoo explained. We need it for healthy bones. You require stellar radiation for biological functions? The humans nodded. So Young pulled up another image. Here's a beach resort where humans vacation. They lie in the sun for hours to get tanned skin. Many people think tanned skin looks attractive. The image showed hundreds of humans in minimal clothing, lying directly under bright sunlight. Children built sandcastles while adults swam in ocean waves. All three Valathi made sounds their translators could not convert. Kethala finally managed to speak. They exposed their largest organ directly to stellar radiation. For aesthetic purposes, the sun feels good, Hijin said simply. Warm sunlight makes most humans happy. We have problems with depression in places that don't get enough sunlight during winter months. Winter months? When our planet tilts away from the sun, Taman explained. Parts of Earth get very cold and dark for several months each year. And humans remain on the surface during these cold periods? Of course. We wear coats and heat our buildings. Some humans enjoy winter sports like skiing and ice skating. The Valathi were silent for a long moment. Finally, Kethala spoke very quietly. We request permission to contact the Galactic Council immediately. There appears to be a serious error in Earth's classification. Taman looked at his team with growing concern. Something was very wrong, but he could not understand what had frightened these peaceful aliens so badly. Of course, he said. Please use any communication equipment you need. We want this first contact to go smoothly. As the Valathi hurried toward their ship, Jinwoo whispered to his colleagues. What just happened? So Young shook her head. I think we scared them. But I have no idea how. Captain Do-hyun Choi stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Han River, watching the Valathi research ship dock with his vessel. 3 days had passed since the strange first contact at Neptune Station. The Galactic Council had ordered a joint mission to Earth for what they called a routine Garden World survey. Captain, said terraforming expert Mi Young Song from her station, the Valathi team is requesting additional safety equipment for their Earth visit. Do-hyun frowned. What kind of safety equipment? Radiation suits, atmospheric filters, emergency medical pods, and something called Deathworld survival gear, Mi Young replied, reading from her screen. Survival specialist Woo Jin-yu laughed from his position near the tactical console. Deathworld gear? For Earth. What do they think we're taking them to? The surface of a star. The airlock opened and the Valathi team floated in. They wore bulky suits that covered their crystal bodies completely. Kethala's voice came through heavy filtering. Captain Choi, we thank you for this escort mission to your homeworld. Welcome aboard, Do-hyun said. Though I have to ask, why the environmental suits? Our ship has perfect life support. We cannot be too careful, Kethala replied. The initial contact revealed, concerning information about your species. We must study Earth directly to resolve these classification errors. Mi Young approached with a friendly smile. I've prepared detailed briefings about Earth's climate and geography. We'll be landing in South Korea during their pleasant spring season. The Valathi team moved closer together when she spoke. Pleasant? One of them asked. Define this term in relation to your homeworld. Comfortable temperatures around 20 degrees Celsius, Mi Young said. Light seasonal rains. Gentle breezes. Perfect conditions for outdoor activities. 20 degrees? Kethala's translator crackled with static. That temperature would boil our internal fluids. Woo Jin raised an eyebrow. 20 Celsius is room temperature for humans. We keep our buildings at that level for comfort. The Valathi spoke rapidly to each other in their own language. Their suits flashed with warning colors. Perhaps, Kethala said carefully, you could describe your planet's weather patterns? Do-hyun activated the main screen and showed Earth rotating slowly in space. Earth has 4 seasons caused by orbital tilt. We get variety in our weather, sunshine, rain, snow, wind. It keeps things interesting. What about severe weather events? Asked the second Velothi. Oh, we get those too, Wu Jin said casually. Hurricanes along the coasts, tornadoes in the middle regions, blizzards up north. Monsoon seasons in Asia, the usual stuff. The Velothi went completely silent. Their suits stopped flashing colors. Mi Young continued cheerfully. Earthquakes happen pretty regularly, especially around the Pacific Ring of Fire. And we have some active volcanoes, but most haven't erupted in years. Earthquakes, Kethala whispered. Volcanic activity. You describe geological instability. Earth is pretty active geologically speaking, Do-hyun agreed. The continents drift around on tectonic plates. Sometimes they bump into each other and cause tremors. The land masses move. Sure, very slowly though, just a few centimeters per year. Nothing to worry about day to day. Wu Jin pulled up weather maps on his console. We should hit good weather when we arrive. No major storms predicted, just some scattered thunderstorms. Thunderstorms involve electrical discharge through the atmosphere, the third Velothi said in a hollow voice. Lightning. Yeah. Wu Jin nodded. Pretty common. Kids learn to stay indoors during big electrical storms. Lightning strikes can be dangerous. And you allow your offspring to exist on a world where the atmosphere randomly generates deadly energy discharges? The humans looked at each other in confusion. Mi Young tried to explain. Lightning is natural. It happens everywhere humans live. Most lightning strikes hit the ground or buildings, not people. We have lightning rods to protect our structures. You have developed technology to defend against atmospheric electrical attacks? It's just basic safety equipment, Do-hyun said. Like smoke detectors or fire extinguishers. All three Velothi made untranslatable sounds. Kethala managed to speak. Fire extinguishers. You regularly encounter uncontrolled combustion? House fires happen sometimes, Wu Jin said. Electrical problems, cooking accidents, faulty heating systems. That's why we have fire departments and safety codes. The ship's medical officer, Bora Lim, entered the bridge carrying a small bag. Sorry to interrupt, Captain. Wu Jin, you forgot your daily medication. Wu Jin took 2 pills from the bag and swallowed them dry. Thanks, Bora. Can't skip the blood pressure meds. Bora checked her medical scanner. Your temperature is slightly elevated. 37.2 Celsius. Are you feeling sick? Just tired, Wu Jin said. Nothing serious. The Velothi backed away from him like he was radioactive. 37 degrees? Kethala's voice rose to a squeak. That being is critically overheated. Why are you not treating this emergency? Bora blinked in surprise. 37 degrees is normal human body temperature. He's running a very slight fever, but nothing dangerous. Your species maintains internal temperatures of 37 degrees Celsius. Give or take a degree, Bora said. When we get sick, sometimes our body temperature rises as our immune system fights off infections. Your internal biological systems engage in warfare? Mi Young tried to help explain. The human immune system attacks bacteria and viruses that invade our bodies. It's how we stay healthy. You carry hostile organisms inside your bodies. Everyone does, Do-hyun said. Humans have billions of bacteria living in our digestive systems. Most of them are helpful. They aid our digestion and produce vitamins. The Velothi made more untranslatable sounds. Their suits began flashing urgent warning colors. Bora continued her medical explanation. Human bodies are amazing. We can survive blood loss, broken bones, organ damage, infections, toxins, and extreme temperatures. Our healing systems are very robust. You regularly suffer physical trauma and survive? Humans are tough, Wu Jin said with pride. We bounce back from injuries that would kill most other creatures. Kethala floated away from the humans until it reached the far wall of the bridge. We must contact the Galactic Council immediately. Earth's classification as a garden world appears to be incorrect. Incorrect how? Do-hyun asked. Captain Choi. Kethala's voice shook with what sounded like fear. We believe your planet may be the most dangerous Deathworld ever discovered. The humans stared at the terrified aliens in complete bewilderment. Earth? Mi Young said. Dangerous? But we're taking you to a beach resort. It's one of the safest, most peaceful places on the planet. The Velothi made sounds that their translators could not process at all. Kethala finally managed to speak again. Please proceed to your homeworld as planned. But we formally request that all safety protocols be elevated to maximum Deathworld standards. Do-hyun shook his head in confusion. but gave the order to continue toward Earth. As the Han River changed course, he wondered what could possibly frighten such advanced aliens about humanity's beautiful, peaceful home. In the Velothi section of the ship, the three researchers worked frantically to upgrade their survival equipment and contact their homeworld with an urgent warning about the deadly garden world called Earth. The Han River descended through Earth's atmosphere toward the landing pad at Busan Beach Resort. Resort manager Kyung-ho Han waited on the platform, wearing a light summer shirt and shorts. The morning sun shone brightly over the calm blue ocean. "Perfect weather for our guests," Kyung-ho said to his assistant. 24 degrees, light breeze, clear skies. They picked a great day to visit Earth. The ship landed with a gentle thud. Captain Do-hyun Choi emerged first, followed by his crew. The three Velothi came out last, now wearing even bulkier protective suits with multiple layers of shielding. "Welcome to Earth," Kyung-ho said with a warm smile. "I'm Resort Manager Han. We've prepared your best accommodations." Kathala stepped carefully onto the landing pad, its sensors scanning everything around them. "This is safe area?" "The safest," Kyung-ho laughed. "Family-friendly beach resort. Perfect for relaxation." The other two Velothi were taking readings with handheld devices. Their machines beeped with constant warnings. "Atmospheric composition is dangerously reactive," one reported. 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen. "That's normal air," Myung-song said. "What's wrong with it?" "Oxygen is highly corrosive," Kathala explained. "It causes cellular breakdown and combustion. How do you survive breathing such toxic gas?" Woo Jin-yu took a deep breath and spread his arms wide. "Feels great to me. Fresh ocean air always makes me feel energetic." The Velothi moved away from him. "Ocean air?" "Sure." Kyung-ho pointed toward the beach. "Salt water, sea breeze, negative ions. Very healthy for humans." They walked toward the beach area. Families were already setting up for a day of fun. Children ran across the sand while parents spread blankets and unpacked food. "The ground surface is covered in microscopic glass fragments," the second Velothi observed through its scanner. "Sand," Do-hyun corrected. "Ground-up shells and rocks worn smooth by ocean waves. Completely harmless." A young girl ran past them, her bare feet kicking up sand with each step. She laughed as she chased a beach ball toward the water. "That juvenile human has no foot protection," the third Velothi said in horror. "The glass fragments will cause severe lacerations." "Kids love running barefoot in the sand," Kyung-ho said. "Feels good between their toes." They reached the water's edge where several families were swimming. The Velothi watched in shock as humans splashed and played in the waves. "They are immersed in corrosive liquid," Kathala whispered. Marine biologist Yoon-ji Park waded out of the surf, water dripping from her wetsuit. She carried a collection bucket filled with sea creatures. "Perfect timing," Yoon-ji called out. "I just collected some wonderful specimens to show our alien guests." She reached into the bucket and pulled out a clear, bell-shaped creature. "This is a moon jellyfish, completely harmless to humans." The Velothi scanners went wild with warning sounds. "That organism carries neurotoxins," Kathala said frantically. "Well, yes, but moon jellies aren't dangerous," Yoon-ji said. "They might cause a little sting, but nothing serious. Children can touch them safely." She reached in again and lifted out a small crab. "And this is a shore crab. They sometimes pinch, but they're basically harmless. Armored predator with bone-crushing appendages," the second Velothi reported from its scanner readings. Yoon-ji laughed. "Bone-crushing? This little guy? His pinch might break the skin, but he couldn't crush anything bigger than a snail shell." A teenage boy ran up to them, dripping wet from swimming. "Miss Park, did you see the shark swimming near the rocks?" The three Velothi made sounds their translators couldn't handle. They backed away from the water so fast they nearly fell over. "Shark?" Kyung-ho asked with interest. "What kind?" "Just a small sand tiger," the boy said. "Maybe 2 meters long. It swam right past me." "Apex predator with multiple rows of razor-sharp teeth," Kathala said in a voice barely above a whisper. "Sand tigers look scary, but they're pretty docile," Yoon-ji explained. "This boy was never in any danger." The boy grinned. "It was so cool. I got some great photos." He ran back toward the water to continue swimming. The Velothi watched him go with what could only be described as total disbelief. The juvenile human voluntarily returned to water containing apex predators, the third Velothi observed. Soo-min Kang, a local park ranger, joined their group. She wore khaki shorts and a ranger hat. with various equipment hanging from her belt. Heard we had some visitors from space, Sumin said cheerfully. Would you like a nature tour? I can show you some of the local wildlife. Wildlife? Kathala asked weakly. Sure. We have a beautiful nature trail through the coastal forest. Very peaceful walk. They followed Sumin up a sandy path lined with pine trees. Birds sang in the branches overhead while insects buzzed among the flowers. Those flying creatures are producing acoustic attacks, one Velothi noted. That's just bird songs, Mi Young explained. Humans find bird sounds relaxing. Sumin pointed to a spider web stretched between two branches. A large spider sat in the center, waiting for prey. Golden orb weaver, Sumin said. Beautiful, aren't they? The Velothi's scanners detected the spider's venom and web strength. Predator with neurotoxic delivery system and high tensile capture nets. They're just spiders, Sumin laughed. This one couldn't hurt a human. Well, maybe a tiny bite, but nothing serious. A mosquito landed on Sumin's arm. She slapped it casually. Annoying little bloodsuckers. Bloodsuckers? All three Velothi said at once. Mosquitoes, Sumin explained. They bite humans and drink our blood. More annoying than dangerous, though some species can carry diseases. Disease-carrying parasites that consume your bodily fluids? They only take a tiny amount of blood, Sumin said. The itchy bite is worse than the blood loss. Something rustled in the bushes ahead. Sumin held up her hand for quiet. A large black shape moved between the trees. Black bear, Sumin whispered. Beautiful specimen. The bear looked up at their group, studying them with intelligent eyes. The Velothi froze in terror as their scanners detected the animal's size and strength. Sumin clapped her hands loudly and shouted, Hey, bear!
Move along now!
The bear huffed once and walked away into the deeper forest. Sumin turned back to the group with a satisfied smile. They usually avoid humans, she explained. Just make some noise and they'll leave you alone. You confronted a massive predator with acoustic signals? Kathala asked in amazement. Black bears are more afraid of humans than we are of them, Sumin said. Though you should never approach cubs. Mother bears get protective, they continued walking. Sumin pointed out various plants along the trail. This is poison ivy. Humans need to avoid touching it. Causes itchy rashes. Toxic flora. The second Velothi muttered. And these pretty red berries are toxic to humans too, Sumin added. But birds can eat them safely. Your world contains plants that selectively target different species with different toxins. Nature is amazing, Sumin said with genuine enthusiasm. Every organism has evolved different survival strategies. They reached a clearing where a family was having a picnic. The parents were grilling meat over an open fire while children played nearby. They're creating uncontrolled combustion near their offspring, the third Velothi observed. Just a barbecue, Do-hyun said. Humans love outdoor cooking. One of the children ran over and offered the Velothi some grilled corn. Would you like to try some? The child's friendly smile and innocent gesture seemed to break something inside the three researchers. Kathala knelt down carefully in its bulky suit. Thank you, young human, it said gently. But our biology cannot process your food. The child shrugged and ran back to play. The Velothi watched the happy family enjoying their dangerous world with growing understanding and horror. This is what you call a peaceful day on Earth? Kathala asked quietly. Pretty typical, Kyung-ho said. Just families enjoying the outdoors. The three Velothi looked at each other through their protective suits. They were beginning to realize that humanity's peaceful homeworld was beyond anything in their worst nightmares. Environmental scientist Jae-hyun Oh stood before a large screen in the resort's conference room. The three Velothi researchers sat as far away as possible, their protective suits humming with air filtration systems. I've prepared a presentation about Earth's climate history, Jae-hyun said cheerfully. This should help you understand our planet better. Kathala's translator crackled weakly. Please, proceed. The screen showed Earth from space, rotating slowly. Earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old, Jae-hyun began. It's been through many changes during that time. He clicked to the next slide, showing ice sheets covering most continents. We've had several ice ages. The most recent ended about 10,000 years ago. During ice ages, much of the planet freezes solid. Mass extinction events, the second Velothi whispered. Actually, life adapts pretty well, Jae-hyun said. Humans survived the last ice age by developing tools, making clothes, and controlling fire. We learned to hunt large animals like woolly mammoths. The screen showed cave paintings of humans hunting massive beasts with spears. The Velathi made untranslatable sounds. Humans also lived through volcanic winters, Jaehyun continued. When supervolcanoes erupted, they blocked sunlight for years. The temperature dropped globally, crops failed, and survival became extremely difficult. And your species survived these apocalyptic events? We're pretty adaptable, Jaehyun said with pride. Humans can eat almost anything, live in any climate, and solve problems creatively. Anthropologist Young-Suk Bae entered the room carrying fossil casts. I brought some examples of Earth's prehistoric predators, the creatures our ancestors lived alongside. She placed a saber-toothed cat skull on the table. Smilodon. 3-meter-long cats with 20-centimeter teeth. They hunted early humans. The Velathi stared at the massive skull in horror. Young-Suk added a cave bear skull beside it. Arctidus, 4 meters tall when standing upright, weighed over a ton. Your ancestors shared territory with these apex predators? Humans learned to work together in groups, Young-Suk explained. We developed weapons, set traps, and used our intelligence to survive. Sometimes we even hunted the predators. She showed them stone spear points and hand axes. 20,000 years ago, humans had already developed sophisticated hunting tools. We could kill animals much larger than ourselves. Cooperative hunting behavior with manufactured weapons, Kathala said faintly. Military technology development? We prefer to call it survival, Young-Suk laughed, though I suppose it was the beginning of human technology. Microbiologist Hyun-Sik Yoon joined them with a microscope and sample slides. I thought our guests might want to see Earth's microscopic life. He adjusted the microscope settings. This is a sample of normal human saliva. Take a look. Kathala reluctantly approached the microscope. What it saw made its translator emit static bursts of alarm. Billions of organisms, Kathala reported to its companions. Multiple species. Active reproduction. Aggressive behavior. That's our normal mouth bacteria, Hyun-Sik said casually. Every human carries about 40 billion bacteria in their mouth alone. 40 billion hostile organisms? Most of them are helpful, Hyun-Sik explained. They aid digestion, fight harmful bacteria, and maintain oral health. The human body contains more bacterial cells than human cells. All three Velathi moved away from the humans in the room. Hyun-Sik continued his explanation. Humans also carry numerous viruses. Our immune systems keep them under control, but we're walking ecosystems of microscopic life. You are biological weapons, the third Velathi said in horror. We're symbiotic organisms, Hyun-Sik corrected, though I suppose our microbes could be dangerous to species without similar immune systems. Captain Do-hyun entered the room with news. The Galactic Council wants a direct communication link. They need to speak with the Velathi team immediately. A holographic projector activated, showing several alien species in what appeared to be an emergency council session. A being that looked like a walking tree spoke first. Kathala, report your findings immediately. Is Earth truly a garden world? Kathala floated forward, its crystal body dim with exhaustion. Council members, Earth is not a garden world. Earth is the ultimate death world. It exceeds every dangerous planet classification we have ever created. The council chamber erupted in multiple alien languages, the tree being called for silence. Explain this classification change, it demanded. Humans evolved on a planet that actively tries to kill all life. Kathala began. Frequent ice ages, volcanic eruptions, geological instability, atmospheric electrical discharges, toxic stellar radiation, corrosive oceans, and predators beyond our worst nightmares. A floating gas bag creature interrupted. But humans appear peaceful. They requested to join our alliance. Humans do not recognize their own lethality, Kathala replied. They consider their abilities normal. They casually survive temperatures that would kill us. They breathe corrosive gases. They consume toxins as food. They carry billions of hostile organisms in their bodies. Young-Suk stepped forward. We're not hostile. We're just adapted to our environment. Your environment created the galaxy's most successful predator species, Kathala said with something like awe in its voice. Humans hunt in coordinated groups. They manufacture weapons. They domesticate other species. They control fire, electricity, and nuclear reactions. We're not predators, Jaehyun protested. We're explorers and scientists. You terraformed your entire planet, Kathala replied. You reshaped continents, redirected rivers, and created artificial climates. You eliminated species that threatened you and bred others for your purposes. The tree being spoke again. These abilities suggest extreme aggression. Humans call it civilization, Cathala said. They do not understand that reshaping entire worlds is beyond the capabilities of most galactic species. Hyunsik tried to help. We only modify our environment to make life better for everyone. You have terraformed death, the second Velothi said quietly. You took the most dangerous planet we have ever encountered and made it comfortable for your species. No other creature in galactic history has accomplished such mastery over a death world. The gas bag creature floated closer to the camera. Are humans dangerous to other species? Cathala considered carefully. Humans are so deadly that they do not realize they are deadly. They think their abilities are normal. A single human could accidentally exterminate most species simply by existing near them. Our bacteria alone could devastate unprepared biospheres, Hyunsik admitted. And our technology. Their simple tools include devices that harness stellar fusion, Cathala continued. They split atoms for power generation. They have weapons that could sterilize continents. The council chamber fell silent. Finally, the tree being spoke. What do you recommend? Cathala looked at the humans in the room. They seemed confused and slightly hurt by the discussion. Humans do not wish to harm anyone, Cathala said finally, but they are impossibly dangerous by accident. My recommendation is that we classify Earth as a Class X death world and recognize that humans are the most successful survival species in galactic history. Du Hyun stepped forward. We just want to be friends with other species. Captain, Cathala replied gently, you are friends with a planet that tries to kill everything on it. Friendship with humans means accepting that we are fragile compared to your people. The holographic council session continued for hours as the galaxy tried to understand what humanity truly represented. Outside the conference room, families continued playing on the beach, completely unaware that they had just been classified as the most dangerous species in known space. 3 months after the Earth revelation, Ambassador Taemin Park stood before the largest gathering in Galactic Council history. Representatives from over 200 species filled the vast chamber, all keeping respectful distance from the human delegation. Military strategist Dongwoo Shin sat beside diplomat A-Ra Chung at the human table. They had prepared for a standard diplomatic meeting, not realizing they were now seen as the galaxy's most dangerous predators. Council Speaker Veltar, the ancient tree being, called for order. We gathered today to establish new protocols for human integration into galactic society. Taemin stood to address the assembly. Honorable species of the galaxy, humans seek only peaceful cooperation and mutual benefit. A ripple of nervous energy passed through the alien delegates. Several smaller species moved further back in their seating areas. Ambassador Park, Veltar said carefully, we must address the security concerns your species represents. Security concerns? A-Ra asked. We've never threatened anyone. A crystalline being from the Zenth Collective projected its voice through translation devices. Human existence is inherently threatening. Your biological adaptations exceed our defensive capabilities. Cathala floated forward from the Velothi section. It had been appointed as humanity's advocate after spending weeks studying human culture. The humans do not understand their own capabilities, Cathala explained to the assembly. They consider their survival abilities normal. They cannot comprehend how dangerous they appear to other species. A six-legged creature from the outer rim world spoke up. Our preliminary studies show that a single human could survive on our homeworld longer than our entire species. Dongwoo frowned. What kind of world do you come from? High radiation environment with surface temperatures reaching -40 degrees Celsius. That's cold but not impossible, Dongwoo said. Humans live in Antarctica and northern Siberia in similar conditions. The six-legged creature backed away from the human table. You inhabit the ice regions of your death world voluntarily? Before anyone could answer, massive doors opened and the galaxy's greatest military force entered the chamber. The Korthak warriors, 4-meter-tall beings covered in natural armor and weapons, marched toward the human delegation. Every other species in the chamber moved to emergency positions. The Korthak had never been defeated in battle. They were the galaxy's ultimate soldiers. General Krextok, leader of the Korthak forces, approached the human table. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. "Humans," he said. "We challenge your species to combat trials. We must test your warrior abilities." Taemin looked confused. "We're not warriors. We're diplomats." "All humans are warriors," Krextalk replied. "You survived the ultimate Deathworld. You must prove your strength in honorable combat." Dongwu stood up slowly. "I appreciate the honor, General, but I'm a military strategist, not a fighter. I haven't trained for personal combat in years. You refuse our challenge?" "I don't refuse," Dongwu said carefully. "But perhaps we could have a simple demonstration rather than formal combat." Minho Zhang, a weekend martial arts instructor who had come as part of the cultural exchange program, stepped forward. "I could show some basic self-defense techniques if that would help." The entire chamber watched as Minho moved to the center of the room. He wore casual clothes and looked completely ordinary compared to the massive, armored Korthak general. "This human appears unprepared for battle," Krextalk observed. "I'm not a professional fighter," Minho said politely. "I teach martial arts to children and office workers for exercise." Krextalk drew his ceremonial combat blade, a meter-long weapon designed for Korthak physiology. "Begin when ready, human warrior." Minho bowed respectfully, then moved. His action was so fast that most aliens couldn't follow it. One moment Krextalk held his weapon, the next moment he was on the ground and Minho was holding the blade. "Sorry," Minho said, offering his hand to help the general up. "I didn't mean to be rough." "Are you injured?" Krextalk stared at the human in amazement. No being had ever disarmed him so easily. "How did you move so quickly?" "Basic footwork and leverage," Minho explained. "When someone attacks with a large weapon, you step inside their reach and redirect their momentum." He demonstrated the technique slowly, showing how human reflexes and biomechanics allowed the maneuver. Any human adult could learn this with a few months of practice. Krextalk stood and bowed deeply. "The Korthak warrior clans pledge our loyalty to the human species. We have never encountered such perfect fighting adaptations." "But I'm not a fighter," Minho protested. "I'm an accountant who does martial arts on weekends." "You defeated our greatest warrior using basic techniques," Krextalk replied. "If your civilians possess such abilities, your military forces must be beyond imagination." Sujin Ryu, head of Earth's space program, stood to address the chamber. "Perhaps we should discuss our expansion plans. Humanity is eager to explore and settle new worlds." The alien delegates murmured nervously. Veltar spoke for the assembly. "Expansion? Across how much territory?" "We've identified several hundred worlds suitable for human colonization," Sujin said enthusiastically. "Planets other species consider too dangerous for settlement." "You plan to colonize death worlds?" "Well, they're not really death worlds to us," Sujin explained. "High-gravity planets, high radiation environments, extreme temperature ranges. These worlds have valuable resources and room for human populations to grow." A floating jellyfish-like creature pulsed with bioluminescent warnings. "You described the most hostile environments known to galactic science." "Humans are adaptable," Sujin said with pride. "We can modify hostile environments to suit our needs or modify ourselves to suit different environments." "Modify yourselves?" "Genetic adaptation, technological augmentation, selective breeding for different conditions," Sujin listed casually. "Whatever works best for each situation." The chamber fell into stunned silence. The concept of deliberately adapting to hostile environments was beyond most species' comprehension. Kethala floated toward the center of the chamber. "Fellow delegates, we must accept reality. Humans are not just another species seeking membership in our alliance. They represent a new evolutionary category." "Explain," Veltar commanded. "Humans are adaptation specialists," Kethala said. "They do not just survive hostile environments, they master them. They do not just defend against threats, they eliminate them. They do not just exist on their world, they control it completely." Changwu Nam, newly appointed as Earth's galactic coordinator, stood to address the assembly. "We understand that our capabilities seem unusual, but we want to use our abilities to help other species, not threaten them." "How can you help us?" asked a small furry creature from the inner worlds. Changwu smiled. "Humans excel at solving problems and protecting others. We could help species defend their worlds from environmental threats. We could assist with terraforming projects. We could provide security against dangerous predators or natural disasters. You would serve as protectors?" That's what we do best, Changwu said. Humans have always protected those who cannot protect themselves. Veltar considered this for several minutes. The Council recognizes that humanity's inclusion in our alliance fundamentally changes galactic civilization. Changes how? Taman asked. For the first time in galactic history, we have a species capable of thriving in conditions that would destroy us, Veltar explained. This makes humans uniquely qualified to defend against threats we cannot face ourselves. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would join the Galactic Alliance not as supplicants seeking acceptance, but as protectors offering strength. As the session ended, Chang Wu walked to the chamber's viewing windows. Outside, Earth hung in space like a blue jewel. Children could be seen playing in parks through the orbital telescope displays. Cathala joined him at the window. Your offspring play so freely, it observed. They have no fear of their dangerous world. Earth isn't dangerous to us, Changwu replied. It's home. That, Cathala said quietly, is exactly what makes humans the most remarkable species in the galaxy. The laughter of human children echoed through the chamber's communication systems, a sound that would become the galaxy's symbol of hope and protection. In a universe full of hostile environments and dangerous creatures, humanity had found its purpose not as conquerors, but as guardians who could survive anywhere and protect anyone. The age of human protection had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.